The classroom buzzed with nervous energy, a mixture of anticipation and quiet pride. Chairs scraped lightly against the floor, the occasional cough echoing as students anxiously waiting for Professor Kim to hand back the exams. Alright, everyone, let's begin. His voice, calm but firm, drew the class attention one by one. He started returning the papers, giving soft notes of praise or flawed frowns of disapproval. Wine 93, excellent work. As usual, I hope everyone is taking notes. This is what consistent effort looks like. A wave of quiet admiration swept through the room. You felt your cheeks warm slightly, not from pride, but from the eyes of classmates. Glancing your way, Jungkook, sitting a few rows back, leaned lazily against his chair, arms crossed, that ever present smirk tugging at his lips. His dark eyes briefly flicked toward you, then back to the front, and he let out an amused whistle. And Jungkook, the room seemed still for a heartbeat. Jungkook sat upright, confident, smirk perfectly in place, but as his hands closed around the paper, his confidence wavered. His brows furrowed slightly, his usual grin fading into disbelief. Wait, this has to be a mistake. He flipped the paper over, scanning the reading splattered across it. The room collectively inhaled. Oh my god, he actually failed. No way, Captain John failed. Jungkook slammed the paper down, a low growl escaping him. His dark eyes flicked toward you, a shadow of irritation and maybe jealousy lingering beneath his usual arrogance. Professor Kim adjusted his glasses, sighing softly. Then he looked at you, was polite but firm. Wine, would you be willing to tutor Jungkook? I believe your guidance could help him pass the next exam. The entire class attention turned toward you. The air felt heavier, like every pair of eyes had glued themselves to your reaction. You paused, considering carefully, then nodded. Of course, Professor, I'll help him. Jungkook smirked sharpened almost immediately, a playful but sharp glint in his eyes. Wait, hold on, did he just assign me to you? He leaned back in his chair, smirk transforming into something more calculating. So the captain of the college me has to rely on the genius of the class to pass. How humiliating. You raised an eyebrow, arms crossed, refusing to show even the slightest amusement at his theatrics. Consider it educational. I'm here to help you pass, nothing more. Chungkook's gaze flicked toward the paper in your hand, then back at you. A flicker of jealousy crossed his expression, almost imperceptible, but enough to make your pulse quicken. 93, and I get stuck with you. I guess life really does have a sense of humor. Life has nothing to do with it, you just didn't study. He leaned forward suddenly, eyes narrowing, voice low but teasing. And you, did you have to flaunt your perfect score in front of the class? Trying to make me feel even worse? You expressed a smile, leaning back in your chair. I didn't flaunt anything, it's just numbers don't lie. Jungkook smirk returned, but this time there was something else, a mix of challenge and intrigue. Numbers don't lie. Huh? Maybe I should just make my own numbers then. Professor Kim, sensing the growing tension, sighed and gave a final word. No excuses, Jungkook. Why will tutor you? I expect results. Make the most of it. Jungkook muttered under his breath, loud enough for you to hear. Fine, but don't think for a second that I'll make it easy for you. I wouldn't dream of it. The room buzzed with whispers again. Classmates Clearly entertained by the clash of personalities, Jungkook's smirk lingered, his dark eyes watching you with that infuriating mix of arrogance, curiosity, and something more personal. In that moment, you realized this tutoring arrangement wouldn't be simple, it would be frustrating, intense, and infuriatingly magnetic. And perhaps, just perhaps, it would change both of you in ways neither of you expected. The library was almost eerily quiet, sunlight streaming through the tall windows, illuminating rows of books and casting soft shadows across the polished wooden tables. So this is where all the geniuses hang out, huh? Smells like homework and desperation. You roll your eyes, adjusting your glasses. Focus, Jungkook. We don't have much time before your next exam. Jungkook leaned forward, suddenly resting his chin on his hand, dark eyes glinting with mischief. Distract you, me, never, unless. He paused, letting the words hang in the air. You actually enjoy my company. Your cheeks flushed slightly, though you kept your voice steady. I doubt that. He chuckled softly, leaning back again, clearly enjoying the effect he was having. Then, after a moment, he became serious, leaning across the table, his intense gaze locking onto yours. Tell you what, how about a little bet? If you pass this exam, you owe me a kiss. You blinked, momentarily stunned, then frowned, exasperated. A kiss? Are you serious? That's serious. I mean, it's not like I'm asking for anything else, just one kiss, fair, right? You pinched the bridge of your nose, muttering under your breath. Unbelievable. Fine, but only because I want you to focus on studying, not because I agree with your ridiculous terms. Take rain leading back tail. Oh, and by the way, don't even think about chickening out. I have got a good memory. For the next hour, the library became a battleground of concentration and subtle tension. You tried to teach calmly, explaining concepts, quizzing him, but Jungkook constantly teased you, rolling his eyes at minor mistakes, making witty comments, occasionally leaning over the table just enough for his hand to brush yours. Each accidental touch made your pulse quicken, but you refused to give him the satisfaction of noticing. At one point, he leaned closer, his voice low and teasing. You know, it's unfair you make all of this look so easy. I'm just hopeless, I guess. Not hopeless, lazy maybe. He smirked, shrugging. Touchy, but I'm trying, alright. You really think it's that easy for someone like me? You raised an eyebrow, surprised by the vulnerability in his tone. Someone like you, what do you mean? He hesitated and sighed, running a hand through his hair. I don't know. Expectations, family, sports, everyone thinking I'm perfect at everything. And then, boom, exams. I fail. Look like a fool. Maybe I don't want to look like a fool in front of you either. For the first time, you saw past the teasing, arrogant mask behind it was someone trying not to just to pass an exam, just to prove himself. Then stop thinking about how you look. Focus, I'll help you. You just have to try. He noted a small, almost shy smile slipping across his lips. Over the next weeks, the library sessions became routine. Jungkook struggled with concepts at first, sighing in frustration, muttering under his breath. You patiently corrected him, your hand occasionally brushing against his as you handed him notes or textbooks. He teased you constantly, but each day he tried a little harder, working past his laziness, practicing problems, memorizing formulas. One afternoon, as he stood at a problem jaw tight, he finally confessed, voice quieter than usual. I'm scared I'll never be good enough. My parents, the team, everyone expects me to be perfect, but I'm not. I mess up. It just tightened seeing this side of him. Nobody's perfect, Jungkook. Not you, not me. Effort matters more than perfection. The look at you then truly looked, and for a moment the arrogance was gone, replaced by something raw and honest. I don't know what I would do without you, whined. You felt your heart skip the weight of his words sinking in despite the teasing, the arrogance, and the ridiculous part about a kiss here he was vulnerable, trying and slowly earning your admiration. By the end of each session, it was clear he was improving, not just in grades, but in trust, in subtle gestures of care, in the quiet moments where his tough exterior softened just enough for you to see the boy underneath. And yet, that bet still hung in the air, a tension neither of you wanted to acknowledge, but both knew would soon have consequences. The exam hall smelled faintly of paper, ink, and nervous energy. Desks were arranged neatly in rows, students whispering last minute reminders to themselves or scribbling down formulas in tiny margins. You took your seat, flipping open your notes one last time, trying to steady your racing heart. Across the aisle, Jungkook sat with his usual composure, but you could see the subtle twitch of his fingers, the way his jaw clenched, the flash of unease behind his charming smirk. Your thoughts betrayed you for the briefest moment. He's actually nervous for me. Jungkook caught your glance and smirked, a flicker of mischief lighting his dark eyes. Relax, genius, you'll see. I'm going to pass and then you owe me that kiss. You sighed, exasperated, your pen tapping against your notebook. Just focus on the exam. Stop distracting yourself on or me. But he didn't stop. That smirk, that playful glint in his eyes had a way of making your chest tighten in a way that was completely unfair. Hours later, the exam was over, papers collected, students filling out with varying expressions of relief or dread. Chunguk walked beside you, a little lighter than usual, holding his head high, but you could tell from the way his fingers tapped against the exam paper that the anxiety hadn't fully left him. So, you glanced at him holding the graded paper in your hands, a smile tucked at your lips, despite yourself. Congratulations, you passed. His eyes widened briefly, a rare moment of genuine surprise. Then that infuriating smirk returned, but it was softer this time, a shadow of vulnerability behind it. So, I guess that means you exhale, trying to calm the sudden flutter in your chest. Close your eyes. He obeyed instantly. Dark lashes lowering. The words seemed to narrow in a single suspended moment. Carefully, you lean forward and press your lips gently against his cheek. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then instinctively, Chunguk reached for you, his hand brushing yours before sliding around your waist. His voice was low, teasing, but as with something more urgent. Now kiss me on the lips. You froze, startled, your cheeks burning. What? Chunguk's smirk deepened, eyes locking on yours, unrelenting. What did we not agree before? You stammered, heart hammering in your chest. I thought you sat on the cheek. Your voice was almost a whisper, a blush spreading across your face. Before you could process it, he leaned in, capturing your lips in a bold, confident kiss. The words seemed to tell the library, the exam hall, even the past weeks of teasing and tension condensing into This single electrifying moment, when he finally pulled back his dark eyes searched yours, intense and unreadable. I think I like this part more, Jungkook, but he only grinned, holding you close just long enough to let the weight of the moment settle between you. Inside your thoughts were a whirlwind. I can't believe this. His lips, it felt different, more than a pet, something more.